Hey Pokemon fans, AlmightyArceus here. We recently hit 3,000 subscribers! Woo! Yeah, actually that was a little bit ago. We're almost at 3,400, which is awesome. But honestly, y'all, I can't thank you enough. We've grown from about 1,000 subscribers to over 3,000 subscribers in the course of a year. I thought that wasn't going to be happening this year at all. I thought it'd be a pipe dream to hit 3,000 by the end of the year. But we did it! So I'm super stoked, and because of that, I wanted to participate and celebrate by doing the Wants to Battle tag as hosted by Birdkeeper Toby. Now, I was tagged by CoolShallow, so I luckily get to do this. He's an awesome graphic artist. He's been a good friend of mine I made this year. He made the thumbnail to this video, and he makes a lot of other cool art. He's an awesome deaf YouTuber who's like really making some cool stuff. So go check out his channel. I'm sure I've shown you it before, but go check it out because it's definitely worth it. So what is the Wants to Battle tag? Well, it's basically a tag video where PokeTubers all over YouTube create videos answering questions about their channel over the course of the year, as well as their involvement on YouTube in the Pokemon YouTuber community. This has probably been my most active year ever on YouTube. I mean, I looked at a report of the videos that I made and stuff. I upped it so much this year, and I'm hoping moving forward that we'll be able to do even more videos. So I figured now would be a great time to look back and reflect on all the changes and everything that's happened this year, to give thanks to the Pokemon community that's been such a huge support to me over the year, and just kind of look forward and see what we're going to be doing in 2017. So Arceus Nation, come along with me, and we're going to get started right now. Question number 1. What was your favorite part of the Pokemon 20th anniversary? For me, this comes down to 2 moments. I couldn't really narrow it down to one. Number 1 would have to be Pokemon Go. It was so cool to see friends who had never played Pokemon before start to pick it up, because for quite some time I kind of felt like I was the only person that I knew in real life that played Pokemon in my friend group. I'd drive around for hours when I was playing Pokemon Go with friends, and we'd try to catch rare Pokemon all around my city, collect Pokestop stuff, and battle gyms, hashtag Team Mystic. The coolest part about all that was that it came out when I was in a different country. I was in Europe. I was in Spain for the summer, and so I was able to collect Pokemon literally from all around the world, which was just so cool. It was like I went to different regions. I caught some in Barcelona, Rome, London, Paris, and of course the US as well. It was really cool seeing Pokemon come into the real world, and even though it's kind of lost its popularity, I still play it from time to time, and my friends still play it as well. A lot of the people who don't really play the main series Pokemon games still play Pokemon Go. So I think that's really cool that, you know, there's a little bit of relevance still around. I'm very glad that this game kind of brought Pokemon back into the limelight this year. The second moment is, of course, the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. It was super hyped. These games were by far the freshest entries we've seen in the main series Pokemon games in a long time, and they were the most enjoyable journey I think I've ever taken in Pokemon, which is a lot to say, but I really think it's true. The Alola region dethroned Sinnoh for me, which up to this point was my favorite region, and it certainly makes me excited for some Sinnoh remakes. I'll be releasing a video soon about my favorite things about Sun and Moon, so be sure to check it out once I have that up. I'll go into full detail about all the amazingness that is Generation 7. Number 2. What is your favorite Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon? Oh my god, it's really hard to choose a favorite, but I've probably got to say Decidueye is my new favorite Pokemon introduced this generation. Even though its stats ended up not being as good as we would have hoped, it just looks so freaking cool! Like, come on! I saw its design in the leaks that came out a few months ago, and I thought those leaks were fake because that hooded owl design would just be too cool for Pokemon to release, right? Like, but in fact, it was actually the design, and so I got the coolest teammate I think I've ever had. Rowlet was by far the cutest little bean ever. I named my actual in-bean Rowlet in-bean Rowlet. I would literally take 2 minutes after every battle to play with it in Pokemon Refresh, so needless to say, it really felt like I was growing a bond with Decidueye as I traveled through Alola. Also, it had this really cool exclusive Z move, and I think it's super awesome. Spirit Shackle's a cool move. Sinister Arrow Raid is just so awesome. And it really fits the theme of Decidueye as an archer as well. Like, Spirit Shackle allows you to keep your opponent in, so you could set up like status and stuff like that. And even though it kind of doesn't work as well as it could because Decidueye is pretty slow, it's still a cool move because it kind of gives you a shadow tag kind of ability or arena trap kind of ability without having to have the ability. And then Sinister Arrow Raid just has such a cool looking animation. Like, the shot of Decidueye like flying like in a fleet with its arrows is just so cool. I always end my champion battles with that Z move so I can end his style. So yeah, I love Decidueye the most because it looks really cool and it was my partner for my first run. Number 3. Which video are you most proud of making this year? Well, I'm really bad at choosing, and also I think the content on my channel is pretty different. Like, I have remixes, I have theories, and then I have a little bit of streaming as well. So I'm going to touch a little bit on each of those. First, let's start with just the mainstream videos themselves, the theory videos. I'm going to relegate this more towards a period of research that encompasses 5 different videos, both that are out and that I'm still working on. These are the videos that are related to my theory of the Pokemon multiverse as it stands as of Sun and Moon. These videos are the Looker Paradox Parts 1 and 2, the Science of Ultra Wormholes, and the Pokemon Timeline and the Pokemon Multiverse. I'm extremely proud of them because I put a bunch of time and effort into releasing and researching and creating these videos, trying to find as much evidence as I could to justify my ideas and to really establish my place as a Pokemon theorist this year. I started my research with the Looker Paradox when I remembered that Looker appeared on the beach of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with complete memory loss, very similar to the way that Annabelle was said to have appeared in Alola. I spent days trying to figure out what the most plausible answer could be for these similarities, and I ended up being stuck between changing the Pokemon timeline, proposing a new universe, or just saying that Looker from the non-Mega Universe fell into the Mega Universe via the Ultra Wormhole, just like Annabelle. I ended up going with that third idea, but the curiosity made me want to define what I thought of as my models for the Pokemon Multiverse and Timeline. The comments on the Looker Paradox also made me want to research how Ultra Wormholes actually operate in-game and the science behind wormholes, because there was kind of a lot of misinformation going around about how wormholes actually work in physics. So I did that research as well. I'm super proud of how these videos turned out and how the multiverse and timeline theory are turning out right now. The Looker Paradox quickly became my most viewed video of all time. With the most likes, it surpassed 1,000. It's my first video ever to do that. And it grew my channel more than 1,000 subscribers in a mere 2 weeks. I'm really proud of that growth, but more than that, I'm proud of the effort that I put into those videos. Whether you agree or disagree with my claims, I really had a blast researching and trying to justify my positions, as well as editing together the videos. I also had a lot of fun collaborating with other PokeTubers. PhillyBeatzU offered to help voice over some of the parts of a few of the videos and host parts on his channel to help get some exposure to the ideas, and that certainly helped spread my ideas to the Pokemon community at large. Candy Evie actually shouted me out after I helped her with part of her own timeline theory, talking about how Grimsley from Black and White, when he shows up in Sun and Moon, is actually Grimsley 2 years later, which cements a certain part of the timeline between Pokemon Black and White 2 and Pokemon Sun and Moon. So that was really cool. It was a super cool experience and a super cool time for my channel and establishing myself as a Pokemon theorist. Now let's talk about the remixing videos. So I think the biggest and coolest part of my channel when it comes to remixes this year was the introduction of the 2 Megamixes. About 7 years ago, I started out as a Pokemon remixer on YouTube. I was inspired by the likes of Cat333 Pokemon and Poke Remix Studios, and I really wanted to start making music on YouTube. So after being here for so long and being acquainted with so many different remixers, I thought it'd be awesome to start to bring the community together a little bit in some big YouTube projects. So I created this series of YouTube Megamixes that allowed everyone to show off their own creativity. I organized the Halloween and holiday Megamixes, and I must say, there were so many cool themes, so much fun to make, and a great way to bring the community together. I got to work with a bunch of different people, meet some new people I'd never seen before, and really get to know the musical styles of everybody in the community. So if you haven't listened to them, definitely go to listen to them now. They're totally worth it. They're about an hour and 15 minutes each. They're really, really great music there. And also, if you didn't get a chance to participate in these past 2, but you want to, we're going to have a few upcoming this year as well. And we're going to repeat the Halloween and holiday Megamixes, of course. But we want to add a few more Megamixes. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention streaming, because that was the other big burst that my channel had this year. I was sitting around 1,300 subscribers, and then I was like, you know what? I'm having a lot of fun playing Undertale, and I think it'd be fun to start streaming. So I did the Drunk Undertale Genocide Run, and I did it on the anniversary of Undertale, the 1-year anniversary. And wow, there were so many people watching me totally fail at the Genocide Run. But I didn't actually fail. I actually won the Genocide Run. It just took a while. But it was so fun. I got to meet a bunch of really cool people throughout the stream. And next year, I'm really trying to kind of amp up that side of my channel. I didn't really have very much tech to do that. Like, I have a very kind of old computer and not very good systems. So I had to stick to 8-bit games. I tried to do a Pokemon Sun one without a capture card, and oh, it was a mess. So I'm going to try and amp that up. I just need to get that supply somehow. So hopefully, with the growth of my channel and as I graduate college, I'll be able to afford some of those things and really amp up the streaming on my channel. So yeah, those are the big 3 highlights of my channel from this year. I know it's not one, but I felt like they were all important parts that I should address. Number 4. What's the coolest bit of Pokemon merch you got this year? So I don't actually really own very much merch aside from the games themselves, but I'd probably say that the shirt that I wore in the Science of Ultra Wormholes is the coolest thing that I've gotten. It's a print of the promo Ancient Mew card from the premiere of Pokemon the First Movie on a sweater. The thing is super warm too. It's also kind of athletic material, so it's good to wear around almost everywhere, and it was a really great gift at the beginning of 2016 to receive. I'm hoping to receive a few more pieces of Pokemon merch, so stay tuned in the upcoming year as I continue to Pokify my aesthetic. Number 5. What has been the best Pokemon video you've seen this year? I'm going to split this up between theories and remixes, since those are 2 fields of concentration that I have. I've really been invested in the Jaywitz's theory videos this year. I love the creative lore that he puts up regularly, and I often find that what he has to offer is very entertaining and surprising. The video that had the most impact on me this year was probably Who is the First Pokemon, which you can watch here. This video talks about the age-old question of who the first Pokemon truly is, and introduces some fun lore and talks about some fun facts related to this question. I'm guessing you're already checking him out because he's a really popular YouTuber, not to mention his recent involvement with the official Pokemon franchise. But if you haven't seen his videos yet, they're definitely something to check out. In terms of remixes, I met someone this year who has been both a great friend to me as well as an awesome creative influence and collaborator. That person is Vanillix Pavilion. I first heard VP's work after finding some of his comments on some of my remixes at the very start of 2016. I checked out his channel, which at the time was floating somewhere in the low numbers of subs, and fell in love with the ethereal sounds that he was laying down. Since then, we've had a few collaborations, from our Ends Bridge collaboration to our most recent Colress remix collaboration, which you should definitely check out. And he's grown phenomenally, picking up recognition from some very large Poketubers like True Green 7. My personal favorite track of his was one that he made for the Halloween Megamix of the dive theme from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Even though I kind of stupidly forgot to put it in the mix itself, it was one of my favorite entries. His ideas for the track were so unique, and the mix itself was extremely solid. It's still an enjoyable listen today, so make sure to check that track out, as well as many of his others in the upcoming year. Number 6. What should your viewers expect in 2017? Viewers should expect a lot of cool new content from me this year. I'm going to be graduating from college in a few months, which means I'll likely be getting a new setup and having a lot more time to record videos, write scripts, make theories, and compose remixes. I'd like to do some Let's Plays and get a capture card so I can play Pokemon Sun and Moon Nuzlocke or Wonderlocks. I'm going to be working really hard on a variety of cool Pokemon theories. I'm never going to stop remixing, and you can count on there being more Megamixes in the upcoming future. Also, I really want to live stream a bunch of games, both in and outside of Pokemon. My Drundertale run was a huge boost to my channel this year, and I said I would try to stream other games as well. I still have that list, don't think I forgot about that. I'm just waiting on the technology so I can have some good stuff to stream instead of having that kind of disastrous Slender stream. Yeah, we want it to be good. Hopefully with more time and better resources, I'll be able to do more streaming this year more often. Finally, I really want to collaborate with as many Poketubers as I can this year. It's really enjoyable to work with different people, and I've already got a few things planned, so stay tuned. My goal for the end of the year is a very modest 10,000 subscribers. I'm keeping the goal at something I think will be relatively attainable, and hopefully, with that support from other Poketubers, I can easily meet that goal and keep growing past that. I really want to be expanding that hashtag ArceusNation. Number 7. Name a channel with less subs your viewers will love and should subscribe to. So once again, I'm going to split this up into 2 different categories. First, something a little bit more related to my theories, and second, more related to remixes. First, I gotta talk about somebody who has been helping me out with my theory videos. Not in terms of scripting, but in terms of graphics. That is Shadakin. Shadikin is a really cool graphic artist who has helped me with a number of thumbnails and has been a really good friend that I met kind of late in the year. He has a really cool channel where he makes a lot of different art, and he's made some really good thumbnails and graphics for other people. He's a really good friend of mine, so I really recommend that you should check him out. He's made some amazing artwork as well, so go check out the channel quick. I don't know what to say, he's just awesome, so yeah, just go. Then, in terms of remixers, I'm going to kind of copy you, CoolShallow. This was my plan originally when I scripted this, but now I got to point it out twice. Since he already pointed it out, I'm going to point it out again. I don't know how YouTube is sleeping on my bro Tad. Like, come on. I found this guy in our Megamixes this year, and he's so freaking talented and puts so much effort into his mixes. But last I checked, he only has a few hundred subscribers. So go check him out. He's so freaking amazing. He made the opening remix to the Holiday Megamix this year, Mount Freeze. Oh my god, I thought that remix was so good, I called it spicy. He's amazing. Go check out his stuff. Tell him Arceus sent you. Well, that just about wraps up this video. Now I've got to select 3 different people to tag to participate in this video. So I'm going to tag 3 people I previously mentioned to do this. BroTad, PhillyBeatzU, and Vanillix Pavilion. It's been a pleasure here this year on YouTube. I'm so excited to be an active part of the community, and I hope that I can continue to be more involved and share in the wonder that is the Pokemon community on YouTube. I'm AlmightyArceus. Thanks so much for watching.